If you're in the self-improvement space, I'm sure you've heard of the philosophy of stoicism. Well, what is stoicism? Stoicism begins with the story of one man by the name of Zeno. In 300 BC, there was a wealthy trader from Cyprus named Zeno. On his voyage, his ship and all his precious cargo encountered a storm. This event, an event that Zeno couldn't control, caused him to lose all his wealth. How would you feel if you were Zeno? Would you be angry at Mother Nature for taking away all your wealth? What do you think Zeno's reaction was? Surprisingly, he was calm and had a firm mindset, which would set the fundamentals for Stoic practices. So what is this mindset that he set for us? Acceptance and indifference. According to Zeno, although we do not have much control over what happens to us, what we do have control over is our emotions and mindsets. So in a nutshell, Stoicism is having composure in a situation, remaining calm and neutral despite our circumstances. But Stoics are not unemotional people as portrayed in the modern day, but they are people who have a changed mindset in handling and accepting predicaments that life throws at them, not just stifling emotions. Many also argue that Stoicism is practiced by people who lived thousands of years ago, and surely they must not know the pressures of modern life. But let me assure you, the practices that the Stoics engaged in are useful today as they were in ancient times. Stoicism is not just restricted to men and the wealthy as portrayed in modern media. Stoicism was taught in the public places to men, women, foreigners, the free man, and the slave. An example of this is Epictetus, who was a slave and learned the ways of the Stoics. Stoicism teaches us that we should expect every bad thing that can happen will happen, toughening out our mind for the worst possible situation and being content with it. To toughen their minds, the Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort, a practice which prepared them for the worst situation, increasing gratitude for their current situation. For example, eating bland food and taking cold showers are examples of ways Stoics made themselves uncomfortable. The benefit of this experience was to develop the mindset that your current situation is not as bad as it seems, and helps you to develop appreciation for it. This experience also tunes our mindsets for any unfortunate future events, such as, what if the hot water stops running? Even though this may not be a tragic event, it prepares us for anything that comes our way. Another fundamental teaching of Stoics is not to place value on external things, but rather internal things. For example, we may work our whole lives to buy a fancy watch or the latest phone, which is putting happiness in external forces. But these external forces almost always fail. That new house may get destroyed in a natural disaster, or that new phone may get stolen. Does that mean our happiness should go along with such objects? No. So the main takeaway from this is to put our happiness in intrinsic value, such as our mastery of a craft or skill, curiosity in a subject or field, and helping others to master that skill. All of these things cannot be taken away from us, giving us true happiness. Up to this point, I'm sure you understand the core idea of Stoicism, which is to focus on things that are in our control and ignore things that aren't. Let's see a practical example of this. A student studies really hard, solves past questions and likely questions, reads the supplementary notes and does everything he's supposed to do to pass his exam. Everything up to that was in his control, but the questions and his results in the exam was ultimately in the control of his teacher. So that the student place all his self-worth on the exam results. not considering that he didn't study exactly what came, or maybe the teacher wasn't in a good mood that day. A true Stoic doesn't put their happiness in that exam result, but rather the skills they learned along the way, such as the ability to sit and study with discipline and focus, using your time wisely instead of wasting it. To conclude this video, Stoicism isn't just about being emotionless. It's about rewiring our thinking to accept that not everything and everyone is in our control, and accepting and developing what is in our control, such as our behavior and virtues. As I record this video, everything I do, such as recording and scripting, are in my control, but ultimately the views and metrics are not. Once we accept this, we will live a much happier and fulfilling life.